The story is set after the second alien invasion from Warrior's Path in 2025 on Earth. After the madness ended by Malcolm Huang, the USA, UK, and Europe are still rebuilding from the destruction caused by the aliens. Still, a few continents like Africa and Latin America are chaotic and destructive wastelands filled with rebels, cultists, and bandits. But young people of African descent use science, technology, magic, and sorcery to merge ancient traditions and modern innovations to make landscapes of Nigeria, Egypt, and South Africa an Afrofuturistic Afrocentric nation through cultural, military, and technological intervention to protect their resources from the corrupt foreign powers like USA, Europe, and Asia from using for personal and corrupt gains. The story is unique, different, intense, emotional, morally gray, and colorful with central themes and real-world issues about personal growth, discovering one's roots, family legacy, political intrigue, coming-of-age struggles, modern imperialism, poverty, violence, and economic exploitation, and reconciling the old and embracing the new. Characters would struggle with balancing their traditional values with modern societal pressures with a combination of social commentary grounded in African history and challenges. The episodes will be 25 episodes each with a 4-season order, and each episode will balance action, drama, humor, and romance with ongoing storylines and character development because the story arcs are divided into 4 and 5 chapters for each story and have the potential to be a groundbreaking series celebrating African cultures and mythologies like Igbo, Yoruba, Zulu, and Xhosa while aiming at a global audience, targeting the African diaspora in the US and UK. While the new generation of black creators are doing their mediums such as Disney African shows, Iwaju and Kazazi Moto, Generation Fire, Netflix's Yasiek, Super Team 4, My Dad the Bounty Hunter, Marvel's Black Panther movie, Black Sands, Children of Blood and Bone, Saturday AM, Dar Sh Tagio, Noir Caesar, and LaShawn Thomas masterpieces, Cannon Busters and Yasuke. In past DC's Static Shock, The Boondocks, The Proud Family, Black Dynamite, Lee Daniels' Empire, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Spike Lee's movies, Tyler Perry's creative works, Marvel's Black Panther, DC's Black Lightning were created by black creators of diverse perspectives. A global team of diverse creators, including Nigerian, South African, and international writers, artists, directors, producers, and composers of Afro descent, will collaborate to bring a unique blend of influences and expertise, ensuring an authentic voice to the story while partnering with Nigerian and South African artists, writers, and musicians to guarantee cultural accuracy and authenticity. The team will also seek collaborations with streaming platforms, television networks, or production companies interested in diverse, international content, fostering a global partnership that reflects the richness and depth of African culture. The animation studio could be a collaboration between Nigerian and South African animation production companies from Korea and Japan and Western studios, combining expertise in anime, traditional 2D animation with 3D technology, and Afrofuturist art movements to create a visually stunning and culturally rich series. This project would feature a vibrant, hand-drawn 2D animation style and 3D techniques that merge contemporary anime and Western influences, drawing inspiration from Thundercats, Castlevania, and Young Justice, as well as renowned studios like Madhouse and Mappa. The art direction would blend sleek, dynamic action sequences inspired by anime with expansive, realistic backgrounds and culturally specific environments, ensuring an immersive experience. Character designs would balance realism with expressive, stylized features, incorporating sharp anime-inspired visuals alongside Western anatomical and expression styles. They would also showcase culturally rooted attire, abilities, and powers, drawing from African mythology, traditional patterns, textiles, and architecture to enhance authenticity and depth. A key aspect of the visual style would be the fusion of anime aesthetics with African influences, utilizing bold Afrofuturist elements, vibrant colors, and intricate symbols to craft a distinctive and captivating world. This approach would be supported by a team of skilled character designers, background artists, animators specializing in Sakuga, and color and lighting experts, ensuring a rich, cinematic experience. Through this collaboration, the series would not only offer diverse storytelling and representation but also celebrate the rich visual language of African culture innovatively and compellingly. The voice cast should feature an all-star lineup of black African actors and actresses from Nigeria, South Africa, the USA, and the UK, including African American, British African, Nigerian, South African, and other Pan-African voice actors, as well as Nollywood and British actors/actresses to give authenticity to the characters and ensure the voice acting resonates with the target audience. The music and soundtrack will play a crucial role in shaping the tone and atmosphere of the series, blending traditional African rhythms and instruments with modern genres to create a dynamic and immersive experience that resonates with both local and global audiences. What if the soundtrack was composed by my favorite singers, Nigerian British singer Seal and Senegalese American rapper singer Akon? The soundtrack will feature collaborations with prominent Afrobeats artists like Tiwa Savage and Wizkid, alongside other influential black African singers from Nigeria, South Africa, and the USA, combining diverse musical styles such as Afrobeats, Afrobeat, Afrokus, Afrotrap, Afrofusion, South African hip-hop, Nigerian rap, Egyptian hip-hop, and contemporary genres like EDM, R&B, pop, trap music, and even Arabic pop. This rich, diverse musical palette will incorporate traditional instruments like talking drums, djembe, and flutes, which evoke mystical and magical elements, while modern, futuristic sounds like trap beats, EDM, and R&B will symbolize the evolution of contemporary African youth culture. The fusion of traditional African music and cutting-edge electronic influences will be essential, with potential collaborations between local artists from Nigeria, South Africa, and Egypt, as well as international talents from the USA and the UK, drawing inspiration from cinematic soundtracks to create an unforgettable auditory landscape. Additionally, the soundtrack will serve as a storytelling device, with specific songs tied to rituals, magical events, or significant moments for the characters, using music to amplify the narrative and deepen the world building. Ensuring that the soundscape not only reflects Africa's rich musical heritage but also pushes the boundaries of innovation, offering a unique, captivating, and immersive experience for the audience. The series is targeted at teenagers and young adults of African descent, aged 15-24, from diverse regions including the USA, Canada, the UK, Nigeria, and South Africa, offering representation of people of color and resonating with fans of anime, Afrofuturism, and fantasy genres. With a TV-14 rating for mature content such as violence, language, suggestive dialogue, sex, partial nudity, and mature themes, the show addresses complex, real-world concerns like identity, cultural pride, personal responsibility, and social issues, appealing to older teens and young adults seeking content that reflects their experiences and interests. The languages and subtitles will cater to a global audience, with the primary language being English, while also incorporating Nigerian and South African languages like Yoruba, Igbo, Zulu, and Xhosa to reflect the cultural authenticity of the series. In addition, the show will provide subtitles and dubbing in multiple languages, including Spanish, French, Korean, Mandarin, and Japanese, ensuring accessibility and engagement for viewers around the world. In this Afrofuturistic universe, advanced technology seamlessly coexists with ancient spiritual practices and cultural elements, blending sleek, cyberpunk cities in futuristic Africa with sprawling savannas, towering temples, and vibrant landscapes rich in tradition, where a high-tech society rooted in centuries of wisdom draws inspiration from African cultural motifs, such as Moorish architecture and Egyptian hierarchies. This world is born from the legacy of an ancient African civilization that once mastered the powerful fusion of technology and magic. This knowledge has faded into myth, prompting a quest by certain characters to revive this lost wisdom, navigating power struggles, societal unrest, and the complex interactions between modern technology and ancient spiritual forces. The magic system, deeply tied to African folklore, draws from ancestral powers, natural elements, and spiritual connections, blending seamlessly with technological advances. The story, steeped in magical realism, follows characters as they wield powerful artifacts, tap into ancient forces, and navigate the complexities of a modern society torn between progress and tradition. This unique world, where energy sources are derived from ancient wisdom and weapons combine futuristic technology with time-honored traditions, offers a rich backdrop for a groundbreaking series that appeals to teens and young adults, requiring a multifaceted approach to storytelling, cultural representation, and production, blending genres and influences while celebrating African cultures. Imagine a groundbreaking anime series that seamlessly blends the rich cultural heritage, traditions, and mythologies of Nigeria and South Africa, incorporating the diverse elements of Yoruba, Igbo, Zulu, and Xhosa cultures, all while maintaining the dynamic storytelling and animation style of the genre. To ensure authenticity, the project would involve collaborating with cultural experts who can provide accurate representation and ensure that each African region is depicted for its unique visual styles, music, and fighting techniques, all rooted in its cultural and ethnic history. This series could have a far-reaching cultural impact, offering an empowering and positive representation of African cultures on the global stage, providing a platform for African creators to shine and bring international attention to the richness of African storytelling traditions. Combining African mythology and contemporary global animation aesthetics would create something entirely new, blending modern and traditional elements in a way that has never been done before, potentially becoming a cultural touchstone while carving out space for African narratives in the broader world of animation and television. The reason why I titled this project Kings and Queens of the Future is that it refers to individuals who will shape tomorrow's world as leaders and changemakers. These kings and queens are not traditional monarchs but symbolize those embodying qualities like sustainability, empathy, and creativity. They serve the role of role models and influential figures across politics, technology, science, and culture. This title also represents the youth who will inherit and shape the future, emphasizing their hope and potential. It envisions a futuristic society with enlightened, progressive, and inclusive leadership, where traditional power structures evolve or become obsolete. The titles of Kings and Queens of the Future will be translated into various African languages, including Yoruba Owan Oba Eti on Olori Ohoewaju, Igbo Eze na Eze Nwani and Godanayu, Zulu Amakasi Nezin Love Ukazi Sikathi Ojazio, and Xhosa Okamkanai Kani Nikamkani Kazi Zeksha Elizio, as part of a localization effort to adapt content for diverse cultural and linguistic contexts, taking into account cultural preferences, language differences, legal and copyright issues, and literal translations. With the ultimate goal of creating more relatable and engaging content for global audiences, inspired by the approach used in titles like Saint Seiya, Knights of the Zodiac. The narrative of Pan-African unity and rivalries could center around uniting fragmented African tribes, kingdoms, and nations against a common enemy, drawing inspiration from the Pan-African movement, which emphasizes unity across Africa's diverse nations and cultures. This could be exemplified through a group of young protagonists from various African countries, such as Nigeria, South Africa, and Egypt, who come together, each representing their distinct cultural backgrounds and fighting styles, but sharing a common goal: to prevent Africa from falling under foreign or supernatural control. Initially, these characters might start as rivals or individuals. Through their journey, they learn that overcoming common challenges requires putting aside their differences and working together, ultimately becoming a symbol of African unity and strength. The series, drawing inspiration from the legacies of Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., and contemporary Afrocentric philosophers, delves into powerful social commentary, addressing pressing issues such as social justice, global inequality, and Africa's evolving role in the international geopolitical landscape. Its fantastical world mirrors the real-life challenges of post-colonial Africa and the global African diaspora, reflecting complexities of identity, heritage, and power. As characters navigate their abilities, they confront profound questions about modern African identity, self-worth, pride, and decolonization, grappling with themes that emerge throughout the series, including economic independence, racial equality, social change, and anti-imperialism, with characters discussing strategies of non-violence versus active resistance and fighting injustice, all of which are informed by the philosophies of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. Creating a Pan-African shonen anime TV series, infused with Afrocentric influences, would be a culturally rich and ambitious endeavor, blending iconic global genres such as anime and tokusatsu with the unique essence of African excellence, resilience, and unity. This series would not only feature thrilling action and character-driven narratives, complete with epic battles, power-ups, and personal development arcs, but would also showcase the deep, evolving friendships between characters, resonating with a wide audience, particularly teenagers and young adults of African descent, both on the continent and in the diaspora. Crafting a show of this nature would require careful planning, extensive research, and collaborative effort, as it would balance tradition with modernity and futurism, creating a compelling narrative that celebrates African culture and the universal themes of empowerment, growth, and unity. This project's concept development revolves around African unity, self-empowerment, cultural heritage, and socio-economic growth, featuring diverse African protagonists representing various cultures and strengths while exploring Africa's transformation into a global superpower, tackling challenges and successes. To achieve this, in-depth research and collaboration with African experts, historians, cultural leaders, educators, artists, writers, and directors are crucial, involving studies of African mythology, folklore, traditions, and cultures, including Nigerian, South African, and ancient Egyptian customs. This research will inform the development of Afrocentric elements, such as character designs inspired by African cultures, textiles, aesthetics, and settings based on African cities, landscapes, and historical sites. The project aims to craft a compelling narrative that speaks to African pride, unity, and futuristic aspirations, incorporating Pan-African themes, futuristic influences, and social commentary, centering on identity, empowerment, social justice, and balancing tradition and progress. The storyline will feature diverse, relatable characters inspired by African and African American cultures, with unique abilities, backgrounds, and personalities, engaging teenagers and young adults, while exploring personal and societal growth, as individual characters discover their powers and represent larger movements for African unity and progress. The distribution of major platforms and channels such as Netflix, Viacom, Time Warner, Disney, Universal, Sony, and Amazon/MGM, alongside marketing and promotion through social media influencers and merchandising, is strategically designed with a global audience in mind, particularly focusing on the growing demand for diverse international content. Key partnerships have a key role in this strategy, involving African organizations, educational institutions, cultural centers, and diaspora communities. The marketing strategy includes social media campaigns, influencer collaborations, appearances at Comic-Con and anime conventions, and partnerships with African artists and musicians to enhance engagement and broaden the audience. This Pan-African shonen anime series merges the rich cultural legacies of Nigerian and South African mythology, languages, and traditions with the universal appeal of high-stakes action, fantasy, sci-fi, and drama. The series offers a powerful, authentic glimpse into African life, history, and culture, while also serving as an inspiring platform for African youth worldwide. It celebrates the evolution of Africa from a marginalized continent to a global superpower, drawing on the philosophies of civil rights leaders like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. through the fusion of African culture, mythology, and futuristic storytelling. The project transcends borders, appealing to a global audience with its compelling characters, gripping narratives, and thought-provoking social commentary. At its core, this ambitious project symbolizes a new era for Africa, one where individuals rise above their past and work toward building a better future for generations to come. With passion, collaboration, and dedication, we can bring this extraordinary vision to life, sending a powerful message of hope, transformation, and progress not only to South Africa and Nigeria, but to the USA, the UK, Canada, and beyond.